The price of groceries are out of this world. That's why I'm gonna see how long I can survive off just $1 a day. For reference, here are a few things that cost $1 in my city. A single egg, one large banana, a single apple, or 1/10 of a decent steak. Will I starve, or will I find some of the best deals out there and eat like a king without having to spend my entire paycheck? Well, let's find out. I had to start off by weighing myself because I will either be eating very small amounts of food or extremely low quality food. And either way, it should have an interesting impact on my weight. So the rules for this challenge are pretty simple. I can only spend $1 a day on food. I can eat food that I find for free, and if I happen to have any leftovers, I can carry them over to the next day. But I have to spend my $1 every single day. I can't stockpile up and then buy a big item after a few days of saving. The very first thing I consumed was a free coffee that I got from work. I realize this is a bit of a loophole because I'm working for them, so technically I'm kind of paying for it with my labor. But come on, it's $1 a day. I'm gonna be using any loophole I can get my hands on. The rest of the day was pretty chill and my lunch break was pretty boring. So after work, I went directly to my favorite grocery store, Spud Shed. There was a few interesting and tempting options, but at the end of the day, I had to go with this bag of pasta. It was by far the most calories for $1. And this is the point when it really hit me how difficult this challenge was gonna be. Trying to find items under $1 in the grocery store is not an easy task whatsoever. Well, day one, it's already late afternoon. Haven't had anything to eat today, just a single coffee in the morning. Gonna go train and then we will eat. Well, it's been a long day, good training session, despite being pretty much fasted all day. Time to cook this entire bag. I've tried to eat an entire bag of this before, and it's a little bit too much, but I'll carry it over for lunch tomorrow. I can only spend $1 per day, but if I have leftovers, I can eat it the next day. That's a very important note. All right, dinner, well deserved. Not the fanciest thing, but this is 2.5 servings. Still have 2.5 left. I think it's gonna be quite filling. It'll leave me a ton for tomorrow for lunch. Very bland, but I'm not complaining. This super plain pasta meal actually really hit the spot and filled me up nicely. $1 a day is not gonna be tasty or easy or fun or really enjoyable at all for that matter, but at least I'm not gonna go hungry. 900 calories later, I'm actually quite satisfied. That was great. Successful first day, and I have the exact same thing for lunch tomorrow, so I'm already one step ahead. Tomorrow it's gonna be awesome. $1 a day, I'm gonna save so much money on this diet. On day number one, I ate 870 calories with 166 grams of carbs, 34 grams of protein, 3 grams of fat. And I also walked 6,987 steps. Don't eat too much of my lunch, but I need a little breakfast. After a few bites of cold pasta, I raced off to hit up a different Spud Shed before work, hoping to find a new $1 deal with just a little bit more flavor. The discount bin was disappointing, and even the day-old bread wasn't cheap enough for me. Well, unfortunately, Spud Shed let me down. Even the discount bins didn't have anything for 99 cents. Nothing substantial anyways, but still got those leftover noodles, so I'm not gonna go hungry today at least. I enjoyed another free coffee at work, and that gave me just a little bit of mouth pleasure I need to hold me over until lunch. I took full advantage of the black pepper in the lunchroom to try and add just a little bit of flavor to my pasta. Eating this meal, I felt full but not satisfied. As soon as I was done work, I went right to the grocery store to try and find something new. There were a ton of $1 options, but there just wasn't anything with enough volume. I was super excited when I saw these rice cakes because they were both flavorful and voluminous. However, they were just 5 cents over my limit. The person doing the discounting really screwed me over here. I finally settled on this pack of crackers. They might not be flavorful, but there's a lot of them and they're crunchy, so I'll take it. Apparently you can't get flavor for less than $1. That pasta is kind of like cement. It just sits in your stomach and somehow really fills me up. So I still got half of that for dinner. I got this whole sleeve of crackers. Gonna go train right now And it feels like I got some pretty good energy despite the low calories. Really on the peasant diet now, just wheat products, not much else. Well, the training session went pretty well despite being fairly underfed. This pasta really sits in your stomach like a brick. I honestly still kind of feel full. I don't know if it was because it was cold or what, but I'm not gonna eat this right now. I think I'm gonna go about half a sleeve of these crackers, see how I feel. Maybe I'll get into that, but it would be nice to be able to bring this for lunch again tomorrow so that I have something at least for lunch, and then for dinner I can pick something up after work. I am craving something, but I still feel pasta in my belly. And either way, both my options are extremely plain tonight. I don't get to be creative, I don't get to cook anything, so. This dinner was dry, bland, and boring, but it was almost 500 calories, so I couldn't really complain. One serving pasta left for tomorrow. That's it for day number 2. And I have half a pack of crackers as well. And of course, one more dollar to spend tomorrow. On day number 2, I ate 1,019 calories with 175 grams of carbs, 31 grams of protein, and 18 grams of fat. And I also walked 9,271 steps. I started my day off by packing my sad little lunch and having no breakfast. But to my surprise, when I got to work, I learned that it was Are You OK Day, which is an Australian mental health day meant to remind you to ask your friends how they're doing. And honestly, I was feeling a little low, but once I saw my breakfast, I was feeling okay. I ate my sad little lunch with all the wonderful possibilities of how to spend my $1 running through my mind. After lunch, I went to the break room and found that they had soft drinks as another celebration of Are You OK Day. This was just the sugar rush I needed to cruise through the rest of the day. Even though I didn't eat very well, my good friend Noodle Jr. had an absolute feast and took down 2 big meals and seemed like he was hungry for more. I'm glad someone was eating well because I was actually getting a little bit worried about what to spend my money on. It's a delicate balance between buying something with a little bit of flavor while trying to maximize caloric intake. And with the current state of the dollar, my options were extremely limited. But today was different because I was planning to hit up a new grocery store. I was gonna be going to the biggest underdog of all grocery stores, Aldi. And maybe there's a reason it's the underdog of grocery stores because the $1 options were absolutely abysmal. There's also a reason they say not to go grocery shopping hungry because I almost bought this can of beans, which would have been a terrible decision, but then I settled on possibly the second worst option, a can of chickpeas. Well, we got hummus and crackers for dinner tonight. Not the most filling meal, but at least we got 2 flavors instead of just wheat products. But of course, that is after training. See how we feel tonight after our 3rd day in the row of eating like a peasant. This evening I could really feel my energy levels crashing, but I managed to get through my training session and come home to prepare my dinner. Well, training was less than spectacular. Time to eat something, hopefully feel a little bit better. Now I finally get to cook something. I don't know what the recipe exactly is for hummus, but I know it involves blended up chickpeas. So I'm gonna blend up the chickpeas and hopefully that tastes good enough to be hummus with my crackers. That's not hummus. Obviously there's some key ingredients missing. It's very bland, smooth and creamy, which is great, but not a lot of flavor in that. Let's see how hungry I really am. It's not bad with the crackers. It is extremely plain, but the little bit of saltiness from the crackers kind of helps. It's just that all of my food is this color. I just need a little bit of vibrancy in my life right now. You might think this is a bad choice, but the only thing worse than bland hummus and crackers is plain beans and crackers. This bland hummus was crushing my spirit. It's like I was making my own movie called 50 Shades of Beige, and the whole plot was trying to bore someone to death by feeding them plain and colorless food. Alright, it has just become so bland and off-putting. I'm saving this many crackers and about half of the hummus. I don't know if I'm gonna eat the hummus, but see how hungry I get tomorrow. I really gotta play my cards right tomorrow. This is a hack for weight loss though. If you just eat the most bland, boring, plain food, I think it's almost impossible to overeat. On day number 3, I ate 1,216 calories with 199 grams of carbs, 35 grams of protein, and 26 grams of fat. I also walked 5,100. Well, I've got the day off of work today, but I have a ton of appointments and meetings and things to do. So first thing, I'm up early. I'm gonna go run to Spud Shed, see if I can find something to spend my $1 on. The discount section was looking pretty weak, so I ended up with a very questionable breakfast. Well, we're not gonna starve, but we're going keto. 2,000 calories of straight fat. Delicious whipped cream. This is definitely the best thing I've eaten so far. Still quite bland, but the fat, so rich. I've been missing that. Well, that was much better than hummus, and hopefully that holds me over for the rest of the day. Got a busy one. My day was pretty busy, driving around to a bunch of different appointments and meetings, and I quickly realized that heavily discounted whipping cream is a terrible breakfast option. Well, I finally made it back home after a big busy day, and it turns out whipped cream for breakfast is a terrible idea. I felt pretty bad all day, but luckily because of that, I didn't feel hungry, and I still don't quite feel hungry. Still have some crackers and some hummus, and of course a ton of cream left. So I'm gonna have a bit of that later, but I'm gonna hold off. Maybe I won't feel hungry enough to eat anything tonight, but that'll be a little bit later. See how I'm feeling. I honestly felt pretty weak and sick by the end of the day, and my energy levels were crashing hard. And it was kind of for the best because I didn't want to eat anything more than just a few crackers, and that's all I had. Well, I had a good little lay down, feeling better, but it's basically the end of the day now. Almost time for bed. I'm just gonna have the rest of my crackers to finish off the night. The challenge was really starting to break me at this point. Not only had it been 4 full days of eating less than half of my normal calories, but the food quality had been extremely poor. Been another very basic day of eating. Actually, there was pretty much no eating today except for this. I was starting to feel pretty terrible, and honestly, I had felt better after 3 days of not eating anything at all than I did at this point. On day number 4, I ate 685 calories with 56 grams of carbs, 10 grams of protein, and 46 grams of fat. I also walked 5,828 steps. Well, I am feeling it this morning. The weakness has definitely set in. I need to find some serious calories today and not heavy cream. I decided to head off to a different Spud Shed to see if I could find any big discounted deals that could save this challenge. If I couldn't find anything high volume today, I was probably gonna have to call it. My hope was that I could find a big bag of discounted fruit or something similar. But unfortunately, even a bag of rotten oranges was $2. I was really losing hope, especially when I saw some more discounted cream, but I did make a decent find in the discount section that made me feel a little bit optimistic. Well, not a bad purchase. 2 packs of ramen, about 700 calories between the 2 of them. So hopefully this makes me feel better. I still got a whole thing of cream left at home. I'm not sure if I want to dig into that, but it is extra calories, so. I'll eat one of these for lunch, see how I feel after that. Hopefully I can save one for tomorrow, but might have to eat one tonight as well. I'm super excited for this one. Some actual flavor, and 350 calories. Nothing to shake a stick at. This boiling broth of salty chicken flavor was putting life back into my bloodstream. It wasn't even that filling, but the flavor was something I'd been truly lacking over the past few days, and it was making me feel alive. I could easily crush another one of those, but I'm gonna hold off, chill out for the rest of the afternoon, and see how I feel at dinner. I would really like to be able to hold that off and save it for tomorrow, but if I get hungry enough, I'll eat it for dinner. After lunch, I was doing a little bit of work when I had the best idea of the challenge. All right, I got some absolutely fantastic news. So I was just sitting around doing some editing, thinking about how hungry I was, trying to figure out how I could get some food without having to pay for it, because I already spent my budget for the day. And then I realized a lot of these fast food restaurants have promos and deals if you download their app and give away all your personal information. So I first checked into GYG, which is like an Australian fast food Mexican restaurant, but they only use fresh ingredients. So it's a step above fast food. It's really good. And when you sign up with them, you get a free burrito. So I just claimed that offer. I'm going to pick it up now. It's a $15 burrito for free. Didn't have to give them any money, just had to sell my personal information to them. After picking up my burrito, the rain started coming down pretty heavy, so I decided to wander around the mall for a little bit. I was lucky enough to pass a supplement store which had a free sample of pre-workout, so I had to have a cup. I don't think it had any calories, but the flavor was enough to light up my taste buds, and a little bit of caffeine didn't hurt either. 800 calorie spicy chicken burrito. This burrito really saved the challenge. I mean, at least it was helping me extend it for another day. The spicy chicken, beans, rice, and cheese were pumping nutrients directly into my bloodstream, and it felt like every calorie was instantly getting absorbed. This was still a fast food meal, but the quality was so much higher than what I had been eating for the previous 4 days that I could feel my body taking full advantage of each ingredient. I spent the night researching other free food options and decided to save my second pack of ramen for the next day. Thank you, GYG. Really saved the day there. On day number 5, I ate 1,130 calories with 151 grams of carbs, 55 grams of protein, and 38 grams of fat. I also walked 6,873 steps. This morning, we had one of our group hikes, so we set off for a beautiful rainy adventure. After the hike, I knew exactly where I was going to spend my $1. There were a few tempting options, but I decided to go with the absolute cheapest thing in the store, which was brown sugar. This would allow me to get 175 grams, which would be 700 calories of straight sugar. 175 grams of sugar. It's the good stuff. All right, getting pretty dang hungry, so I'm gonna put this brick to work. Straight sugar, straight fat mixed. My first meal was a massive caloric bomb with over 800 calories consisting of 50 grams of sugar and 200 grams of cream. That is insanely good. This is 850 calories. If I eat it all, I'm probably not gonna feel good. This helped me with my caloric needs, but I still needed some volume. And honestly, I had been behind on calories for almost a week now, so I really needed to catch up. Let's see if the sugar makes me feel better or worse than just eating straight cream. I spent some time trying to find another free food offer, but all of the other fast food chains only offered discounts or free items with the purchase of another item. So things were looking pretty grim. The afternoon progressed without much physical activity at all, and I decided to finish off the day with some ramen dinner. Well, it turns out if you combine 600 calories of straight cream with a bunch of sugar, you feel a lot better than if you just ate the cream by itself. Interesting fact. It is now time for dinner. I'm in a salty mood. I'm gonna cook up the other pack of ramen. Day 6, $1 a day. Who would have thought it was possible? It's not fun, but it is possible. 2 meals in one day. I really am blessed. Well, that's it for day number 6. I really don't know how long I want to keep this going for. This is a rough challenge. On day number 6, I ate 1,180 calories with 101 grams of carbs, 10 grams of protein, and 82 grams of fat. I also walked 12,054 steps. Well, 125 grams of straight up brown sugar in here. 500 calories, that's what I got to start day number 7. I'm gonna sip on this throughout the whole day, and I have a very busy day tonight in terms of activity. So this is gonna need to fuel me well. Oh, I'm eating like a butterfly today. I continued drinking my sugar water on the way to work, and during my break, I got myself a free coffee. I cruised through the afternoon, steadily sipping my juice and continually topping it up with water again. I had energy from the sugar, but that didn't stop me from feeling hungry. I had the same basic $1 options running through my mind all day. Would I go with the bland pasta that sat in my gut like wet cement? Or would I splurge on a bit of protein that I was so desperately craving by getting myself a can of sardines? I could always go with a bag of carrots. Natural, big volume. But as the workday came to an end, I decided to hold off until I had finished my workouts. I had come up with a very special plan for my $1. Well, work's all done. Got my little comfort sugar water bottle here. It's a lot less sweet than it was this morning, but it's still doing the trick. Got training and a hockey game after this. It's gonna be a lot, but the sugar is getting me through it. Well, it was a really fun game. Didn't have a sub, so I had to play the full game straight. And now I'm completely out of water. Time to go spend my $1 for the day. It was a bit of a drive to get back home, and now my stomach was begging for sustenance. And I knew exactly what to give it. This place had been on my mind from day one, and now it was time to capitalize. This delicious treat was exactly what my taste buds needed. However, it was not doing anything to fill the bottomless pit that my stomach had become. I thought these were $1 each, only 50 cents. Yeah, that's what I call a dinner. What a day. This is extremely well deserved. Doing this challenge really puts into perspective how the value of money has changed. I'm a firm believer that health is wealth, but unfortunately, you do need a small amount of wealth to keep yourself healthy. That's why I decided that this challenge had gone on long enough. Well, that was great, but I'm still starving. I think I'm gonna call it there. 1 week surviving off just $1 a day. You can survive, but just barely. On day number 7, I ate 955 calories with 207 grams of carbs, 12 grams of protein, and 12 grams of fat. I also walked 8,604 steps. Throughout these 7 days, I only managed to eat an average of 1,007 calories per day. I lost 2.2 kilos during this diet, which is quite a bit of weight to lose over the course of a week. However, in my opinion, for the amount of calories that I was eating and the amount of exercise I was doing, I should have dropped a little bit more. I think that just goes to show that there's a lot more to weight loss than just the amount of calories that you consume. The quality of calories matters a lot. And I bet if I would have eaten the same amount of calories, but eaten high protein with lots of fruit and vegetables, not only would I have dropped more weight, but I would have had way more energy and would have felt a lot better. $1 a day is an extreme challenge, and I really underestimated the difficulty of this challenge when I first came up with the idea. Next time, $2 a day. Thanks for watching.